Hey guys, so I have to tell you about something that happened to me. This is actually the second time it happened to me with the same human being. But I don't think I really realized what happened the first time because I was literally still in their energy as the de-escalation occurred. And so it was a completely different experience when I actually drove away from them into neutral energy, I guess. Whew. So I've been an empath my whole life. I mean, I feel people's sadness, I feel excitement, I can feel anxiety, I can feel anger. But this was not the same. This was like, this person has a negative attachment. And they let it control them to the point to where when I was in their energy field, when they were in the middle of a mental crisis, going into feeling guilty or defensive or anxious or even bored, they go into this psychotic anger mode. The first time I ever saw it happen to this person, I was actually, pretty far away at the other end of a parking lot. And I saw it happen as the result of someone bumping into their vehicle when they were sitting in it. And they almost left the ground in their rage. It was stunning to see. Okay, but the first time I experienced it directed towards me, it was, I felt like it was mine. I felt like that kind of rage where you've had a whole bunch of whiskey and the worst person in the world walks up and tells you that you're a piece of crap or something. And then you let it explode. Like explosive rage. Psychotic, explosive rage. And it took me over in the presence of this person. The first time was during an argument. Well, I didn't know it was an argument. I happened to come upon them as they were raging alone by themselves on accident because I didn't understand what was going on, and I shouldn't have even went into that energy, but I had no idea that was what I was going to encounter. But anyways, so I retreated, and of course they quickly came back to where I was, and it turned into a really bad thing where they were going to walk a freaking 25-mile walk back to where we started instead of staying here in this place with me. And the rage that they were putting off took over my body, and I had the pounding heart and the blood pressure and the head exploding feeling and the anger and the like that whiskey rage, to where I was not even operating my vehicle in a safe manner. But that day I did convince the person to rejoin me and at least let me return them to civilization rather than try to walk the entire way. So that time I was still in their energy as it de-escalated, and it just felt like I was calming down, basically. So after that incident, for a time I isolated myself from that person. I did not even see them again for a couple of weeks. But the second incident was day before yesterday. And this had come after this person had basically shredded my self-esteem with insults and mean words. declared that they hated me more than they'd ever hated another human being. So at that point, I decided this friendship has got to end. And I'm going to pull back my energy as well as my resources and step away from this person. So I requested that they return to me the items that I had lent them. And they went off the deep end. Called me more names. Called into question my faith, my integrity, my sanity. And basically just tried to rip me limb from limb in an emotional way. You know, emotionally speaking, they were trying to burn me down. So when I went to go pick up my items, this human being like throws the stuff in the dirt. And so I go over to gather whatever it is, and I'm just trying to hurry up and get out of there. And so I pick up the stuff, and I realize that some of the stuff that they threw out was actually gifts, things that I had gotten for them specifically, like not the items that I had lent them, the things that I had given them. So I just like, you know, whatever. Picked the stuff up, got in my vehicle, and left. Well, then the next morning, I took some time for myself and went to my favorite place to do some healing. And I thought, you know, I know how they are. They're really bipolar. They have a terrible rage issue. They have a negative attachment. Like, and I knew that they'd been having some issues with being able to procure food. And it made me feel really bad that they didn't have enough to eat. And so I got a can of gas for the stove that they have out there. And I went to get out the binoculars that they had returned to me like the day before. I hadn't looked through them yet, because I was wanting to see if they were at their vehicle or if I needed to go uptown. And upon taking the binoculars out, I realized that this person had ruined them with some kind of sharp object. Just gouged the lenses completely up. So I just went ahead and drove over there and approached them with the question, why would you do that? Like, I've never destroyed anything of yours. I have never done anything bad to you. Like, you want to use me as a mirror and call me all of the things that you see in yourself. That's one thing, but why would you destroy something that does not belong to you? And I could see it, and I could feel it, the guilt and shame, and kind of some embarrassment. But then I felt it turn to rage, and it quickly engulfed me, because I was standing maybe 1.5 feet from this person. Well, maybe not even that far. But it felt like those early 20s, half a jug of whiskey, ran into your arch enemy kind of rage, and found them maybe beating on your mother kind of rage. I don't know. This thing, it engulfed me completely. And I have very little memory of what occurred, but I do know this. I got in my vehicle and I drove it as though I had stolen it. And then proceeded to pursue them across the meadow where they had took off walking. And so then they changed directions into like kind of like behind me kind of a way, like they turned around, and so I had to go into reverse. And upon doing so, I realized that they had disappeared. So I put the brakes on and go forward a few feet in another direction, and then they start accusing me of trying to run them over with my truck when they literally walked right behind me when I was in reverse. So at that point, I just gave up on the pursuit and parked my vehicle and watched them make a complete fool out of themselves on their own video camera, spouting about how this crazy lady was trying to run them down with her truck. And it just got me to where I was able, they walked far enough away that the energy just left my body. And I was able to sit there and contemplate like what had just happened. And I realized that it had literally, whatever this thing is, whatever this, I think it might be like almost like a demon, if you believe in demons, like that is attached to this person. And it took me over at the same time as it was taking him over, and made me act like someone I don't recognize, like someone I've never been. But this time, like, they walked away and got out of my energy while they were still in this place. Like, and I guess this thing's reach is only so far, they decided to say with the host. I don't know what happened. But all I know is it left my body. I could literally feel it detach from me, and my own self returned to my consciousness, my you know what I mean? Everything was back to how I feel about things. I was the one running the show again. Like, I did not feel all of that chaos and rage and hate. Oof. But I can tell you what, like, I had offered this person healing sessions before, but now I'm not even sure that I can safely do that. I feel like it's going to take like a team of people for whatever this thing is. And I've helped with an exorcism once, but it was long distance by speakerphone. I wasn't actually close enough for it to get into my energy and control me in any way. But I just had to put this out there for you guys. Like, if you sense that someone has something dark attached to them, it might be a good idea to just get the heck away. Like, immediately, if not sooner. Like, literally just run the other direction. Like, I really felt like I could help this person. I really felt like I could, like, bring them out of this dark night of the soul, this obsession or possession or oppression, whatever this thing is that is attached to them. But now I really know that this thing had gotten me to where I was not me. And on more than one occasion, it has happened. And I'm looking back and realizing that not only was it able to make me feel those moments of rage and psychotic anxiety and chaos and just meanness and hate, it can also make you feel like you're not worthy, you shouldn't be here, you should just go kill yourself. It's happened to me twice now dealing with this individual. And only in getting really far away from their energy was I able to come back into myself and realize that those were not my thoughts. That is not how I feel. This thing was literally trying to drive me around the bend. And that's not safe. I mean, it's dangerous. I came really close to losing myself. I came really close to losing myself in all of it. But as I thought about it more and more, I was pulled, pushed, tugged, forced, I guess, I don't know, into sharing it with you guys because, well, obviously I'm not the only one this has happened to. A lot of us are empathic. A lot of us are used to feeling the feelings of other people, but there comes a point when it's not just the feelings. It could be the actual attachments, attaching themselves to you or invading your space, invading your energy, making you feel certain types of ways. Protect yourself, cleanse yourself daily. If you interact with someone like that, like, cleanse yourself immediately with sage or Palo Santo, something. say prayers, like literally picture yourself in a protective bubble full of healing light from source. Anyway, that's about it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. Aloha. Hey guys, so I have to tell you about something that happened to me. This is actually the second time it happened to me with the same human being. But I don't think I really realized what happened the first time because I was literally still in their energy as the de-escalation occurred. And so it was a completely different experience when I actually drove away from them into neutral energy, I guess. Whew. So I've been an empath my whole life. I mean, I feel people's sadness, I feel excitement, I can feel anxiety, I can feel anger. But this was not the same. This was like, this person has a negative attachment. And they let it control them to the point to where when I was in their energy field, when they were in the middle of a mental crisis, going into feeling guilty or defensive or anxious or even bored, they go into this psychotic anger mode. The first time I ever saw it happen to this person, I was actually, pretty far away at the other end of a parking lot. And I saw it happen as the result of someone bumping into their vehicle when they were sitting in it. And they almost left the ground in their rage. It was stunning to see. Okay, but the first time I experienced it directed towards me, it was, I felt like it was mine. I felt like that kind of rage where you've had a whole bunch of whiskey and the worst person in the world walks up and tells you that you're a piece of crap or something.